Hello and welcome back to the video on T.S. Eliot, the critic. The next concept introduced by T.S. Eliot is impersonality of poetry. According to Eliot, the artist must continually surrender himself to something which is more valuable than himself. That is the literary tradition. He must allow his poetic sensibility to be shaped and modified by the past. In the beginning, his self, his individuality may assert itself. But as his powers mature, there must be greater and greater extinction of personality. So the poet's first quality is the historical sense, and when he acquires historical sense, he will learn to depersonalize his poems or make the quality of impersonality appear in his poems. Now, a good poem, the poet must realize, is a living whole of all the poetry that has ever been written. Hence, a poet must be absorbed in acquiring a sense of tradition and expressing it in his poetry. As Eliot says, the progress of the artist is a continual self sacrifice, a continual extension of personality. In other words, the poet's emotions and passions must be depersonalized. He must be as impersonal and objective as a scientist. Here we can find the difference between the theory of poetic creation by William Wordsworth and T.S. Eliot. Wordsworth believed in writing more and more personal poems or expressing personality or feelings through the poems, but in the case of Eliot, it is extension of personality or making the poems as objective as possible. So, in order to describe his theory of impersonality, Eliot compares the mind of the poet to a catalyst and the process of poetic creation to the process of a chemical reaction. He gives the analogy of a particular chemical reaction. When a bit of finely foliated platinum is introduced to a chamber containing oxygen and sulfur dioxide, and in that chemical process, we find that platinum is serving as the catalyst. So, the analogy is that of a catalyst. When the two gases previously mentioned are mixed in the presence of a filament of platinum, they form sulfurous acid. This combination takes place only if the platinum is present. Nevertheless, the newly formed acid contains no trace of platinum, and the platinum itself is apparently unaffected. So let's see how the analogy works here. The emotions and experiences of the poet, they are the raw materials like oxygen and sulfur dioxide. The poet's mind is necessary for new combinations of emotions and experiences to take place, but it itself does not undergo any change during the process of poetic combination. The personality of the poet does not find expression in his poetry. The more perfect the artist, the more completely separate in him will be the man who suffers and the mind which creates. So, like the platinum, the poet's mind is a catalyst without which the poetic creation won't take place. But the poet's mind or the poetic creation itself, they do not influence each other, or rather there won't be any trace of the poet's personal emotions in the poetic work, and the poet's mind will remain unaffected by the emotions that are expressed in the poem. In short, there should be an extinction of the poet's personality. Now, to quote Eliot, poetry is not a turning loose of emotion but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personality but an escape from personality. This impersonality can be achieved only when the poet acquires a sense of tradition, that is, the historical sense, which makes him conscious not only of the present but also of the past and its presence. That's all about impersonality theory of Eliot. We'll continue in the next video.